This Old Gamer is paid for by contributions by viewers like you and by
Your educational adventure awaits at Sloop John Island Zoo. We've heard the feedback and we appreciate the reviews, and we're willing to change for you. We have simplified our zoo to make it as easy to access for all citizens of Sloop John Island. Now all information is printed on these blue signs throughout the park, easy to read and understand for all. And remember, our animals are raised in-house, all right here on Sloop John Island, with the exception of the monkeys, of course. And while you're down, please check out the newest exhibit, Reptiles and Other Things. There's never a dull moment at Sloop John Island Zoo, and we're proud to be a pillar of your community. The Sloop John Island Zoo. It is a zoo.
Hello there!
Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Cities with John. I'm This Old Gamer, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set for Downtown episode 29. Yes, the 29th installment of this Downtown series, and this is going to be it. Yes, this is it. The end of Downtown. I plan on trying to finish it up today, so stick around. Should be a lot of fun. So on Almost Live episode 2, we developed this oil area right on the corner. It's like a little small peninsula, and it has turned out pretty well, but we have a lot of unfinished land here, as you can see. Lots of stuff around the railroad, and decided just to do a little bit of some detailing here, adding some decals. How's it going, everybody? It's been a while. Yes, I usually start off when it's been a while saying it's been a while. I'm not going to do that today, but it has been a while. And if you are a big fan of my channel, I really appreciate you. We have 260 subscribers, which it's kind of funny is when I'm asked by people that know me personally, you know, how many subscribers you got, say 260. And I think it's a bad thing, but hey, 260 subscribers, that's not bad. Thank you guys so much for the support. I do apologize for not putting out that much stuff as of late, but nevertheless, I'm here today and I'm glad you're here too. So just doing a little detailing, we used the natural resource paintbrush that does not come to mind. More beautification. Is that it? It's some mod out there, just figure it out. And we got the ground looking a little bit more rough because this is a rougher area. I did not want to put any houses over here because of the pollution level. Now I do have a issue you'll probably see a little bit later on. For some reason my pollution map is brown all over the map, even if it's not really a bad area. It's still showing that it's bad. So I don't know, something's conflicting or whatever. I picked this building in particular because I wanted something close to the road that looked like it probably was a very big place corporation in the 1970s, 1980s, but time has not been friendly to it, so it's a little ran down. And then I added a vanilla building there to the left. That is actually not a custom building. As you can see, there is a parking lot up on the sidewalk. So just putting some detail around this really old building, and we're going to put some graffiti here on the side because, well, why not? I think what we're going to do is put up a big chain link fence. I got this fence here that I believe is actually a custom fence. It's not part of the Industries DLC. Maybe it is. Anyway, I'm very informative today, as you can tell. So this fence just adds to that, you know, rusty, bad, old look that this area has. And then, you know, in the background going down the street here, now you have this gigantic oil company, and it's just a bad place. And such a beautiful city right by downtown. Sure, they're not very happy about that. I like this Union Metalworks sign. I'm not exactly what kind of business that would be, or if that's just saying that's who built this building, but I just use it as a random industrial sign. So yeah, putting some juniper trees in here along the road. beautiful, beautiful downtown Sloop John Island. It's been a lot of fun making this series, and I'm excited to announce we will have an announcement. I'm excited to announce we're going to have an announcement on what the next series is going to be. Yes, I'm going to continue to make YouTube videos. Contrary to popular belief, I'm going to continue. I apologize for it being so long. Just been a lot going on. This building, though, I love the look of this building. We're adding some benches here that are PPG benches, PG benches. They will allow people to sit on them. They can be a little hard to move, though. And to the next corner, this nice old gray building. And a little terraforming here to get this looking right, but I don't really think, I think it's actually the building is doing this. We're going to install a small entrance here using the concrete road. Kind of blends in rather nicely with that parking lot that is attached to the building. Not a big fan of those, of course, but nevertheless, is what it is, and it works fine with that little concrete road. It'll allow cars to drive up there a little bit more realistically. Here we're installing a little bike depot and a little round bench. I've used this round bench a couple of times. I really like the look of it. And yeah, you know, it allows people to not look at each other while they're sitting, which is just really the American dream. All right, well, moving on. Kind of doing additional detailing around these office buildings. I love the way this looks over here, though. Lots of old buildings that are still in use, but maybe not as prominent, and not the same businesses that were originally here. They moved to nicer parts of the city, as this area has been taken over by giant industry. As you can see, all sorts of trucks coming in and out of this junction. So over here we have this little area where I had a little road built, and it's a really tight fit over here in between the railroad tracks. And what I'm doing here is kind of just making a little district of buildings that are, you know, they've kind of been repurposed multiple times. Maybe they were originally part of, you know, older downtown, but are not used to the same degree as well. Just not as Soviet looking as the buildings across the street. I'm putting in some industrial buildings here, which I'm not making them procedure objects. They are actually just regular buildings. Probably going to cause some pollutions, but there's no residential area close by here, so I'm not too worried about that part of it. And besides, I've got so many mods turned on. I think everybody lives forever on Sloop John Island. It's like it's like heaven on earth, really. It really is. I'm adding some pathways in behind these buildings and through these like little alleyways. That way people might actually walk through there. I don't know if they might walk through the buildings, but at least they'll kind of walk that way. We'll kind of put in some little detailing. I added those pergolas to be like a little sitting area, lunch break area for the employees at these buildings. So just adding some details to these alleyways. Just the little things make a big difference, I think. Here I'm gonna put some vines on the side of this building. It's a little bit overgrown, not the nicest industrial area. Kind of ran down a little bit, a little rusty, but far enough away from the regular part of downtown that it doesn't look too bad. I debated on getting rid of this back road, but I decided just to go ahead and keep it and use it to my advantage. I got that little parking lot there that runs in behind, and it has like a dock for semi trucks and things like that. Using procedure objects, I've got that big concrete slab that is going to actually be for air conditioning units, some large air conditioning units that are going to look kind of elevated because they'll be sitting on top of that large concrete slab. So I thought that would kind of look cool. I found some new steam markers on the workshop. A lot of those steam markers and things seem to disappear. The smoke markers and all that, they seem to just disappear from the workshop and from my maps. I'm not sure what happened, but I found some different ones. I've been using those. They're a little bit too steamy. They're kind of like, they make a lot of steam, but they still look pretty cool. I always kind of struggle with going in behind buildings, and I hate having buildings that are just like nothing on the other side. So we're just gonna add a few more little small buildings around on the back side just to make all this kind of tie together. Here I'm using this little like old containers that have been repurposed into, I don't know what exactly that's supposed to be. That's like a little food hut of some sort. A food container, I guess you could say. And here we're just going to put in like a little privacy fence that goes along the back of those buildings. Instead of just having more buildings back there, we'll have this little gravel, kind of give it a little bit of a rough appearance, but a nice little place to kind of sit and hang out. Nice little open area. Add some decals. So now I'm going to put this little garage thing beside this building, like a little storage unit for this business. I have had a good run of things as of late, I guess you could say, besides not making any new content, which I profusely apologize for. And my first video hit 1,000 views. It was my LRT tram tunnel. I'll leave a link here to check it out if you have not. It's a pretty cool video. I like it. My how-to guides all really got a lot of views, and I appreciate the feedback and support on those. So check out the how-to guide playlist if you have not. I really enjoy making those. And more to come. A new how-to guide is coming in the very near future. Probably might be a transitional video between downtown and my next series, which we will reveal at the end of this episode. Oh, what do we have? We have a flying Ford Explorer. Wouldn't be an episode of Cities with John without something flying through the air. Here I took the end of this road. I was originally going to do kind of like a large cul-de-sac, but instead I made this parking lot. We're actually going to use this parking lot as kind of like a large cargo lot, because we're pretty close to a lot of industry around here, and a place for all these semis and random industrial vehicles to park. Just kind of making a line of them there. We're going to fill the rest with some vegetation, some random trees along here, along this railroad track. Let's turn that. I think that's the right direction. I don't know. I said I wasn't going to put any residential over here, but that is actually a commercial and residential establishment there. Don't breathe too deeply because you are surrounded by pollution. Moving right along. Now this is over in the Fern Valley. This is in the heart of Fern Valley. This is a FedEx facility here that I've put at the end of this parking lot. And we have a little concrete pathway leading into that parking lot that's attached to that building. We'll add some FedEx trucks. A little wall here. We'll actually just make it the same fence as that other part. So this area I've actually multiple times, I believe on a previous video, this area was, well, for one thing, there was a road going over it. There was two parkways, and we got rid of that bridge. So this has kind of been an open area I haven't done anything with. So we're just kind of repurposing it today and finishing this part of downtown up. I just put a little curb, a nice little entrance to this FedEx facility. This is kind of like the office building attached to this FedEx hub. And use some of these little miniature juniper trees. Now across in the same parking lot, just kind of put some random industrial. These are actually storage buildings that are part of the Industries DLC. And you can actually change up these buildings to you want them to heavily export or heavily import items, or if you want them to store items or whatever, you can keep them balanced or whatever the case may be. The Industries DLC is a really good DLC when it comes to adding new gameplay elements, probably more so than just about any other DLC. A lot of the other ones are more like visual add-ons, don't add too much to the actual game itself, but the Industries one certainly does. This is a building I've used before on in the forestry industry area, and I really love that building. It's like a really cool 1970s, 1980s looking office building. Adding a little bit of electrical grid back here. Electrical grid. Kind of put a little decal underneath that. Add a fence. Let's put this little pathway. And we'll add some of these prop bushes. I love the prop bushes for the most part. Sometimes they don't work well when it comes to certain elevations. If you put them on hills and stuff, they kind of look funny at times, but for the most part they're really good at filling up larger spaces that you don't necessarily want to just use a ton of trees. It'll save you on your tree count, and you can use those just to kind of fill up some stuff. I was just adding some dirt decals around that electrical grid. And then we're going to put some of these stone looking decals around the bottom of this building and over the dirt path. Like so. This goes right up against the lower canal. That is the canal you're seeing there in the background, or you can barely see right there flowing. Just a quick little detailing over here, nothing too major. Expand on these no parking decals, as trucks will be using this area in and out all the time. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So we have this little piece of land right next to the giant smokestack of this oil industry. This used to be a park, as you can tell. Well, it still is a park. We're gonna make it a park, but there's a little ledge there in the bay that was part of an old park, and we're gonna kind of design an old park that has kind of been repurposed with a dock, and kind of put a bow on this episode of Sloop John Island. I'm using this little UK road. It's a real skinny road, kind of winded up somewhat of a little elevation here. We're going to use a little terraforming and get all this about roughly the same level. I'm just going to add a straight parking lot here, and we'll just kind of adjust it. This bay area just looked too cool right here by the park to not do something with it, so I decided just to go ahead and make a little park. I debated on just filling it up with trees and not doing anything with it, but I don't know, the ocean and stuff here, it looks really cool how it's right up against the corner here. And then I added that little multi-tier thing down at the bottom that we'll kind of add on to here in a second, you'll see. I'm putting two fences around here. One's going to be kind of like a sound barrier type fence, and then we're actually going to put like a park fence in here as well. It's a little bit nicer, like the wrought iron fence, but this one is just basically to serve the purpose of blocking a lot of that sound coming from the industrial area behind it. There's my park fence. We'll put that all the way to the corner. Then we're just going to come over here and we're just going to put like a park fence around the actual park to keep people kind of where they're supposed to be. Kind of visualize this having a lot of vegetation and fences and things like that. So here you see this little, what used to be the old park, this little overgrown. It's been kind of overgrown down here at the bottom. So I'm adding some stairs to represent that, you know, this used to be kind of like a little place you'd kind of walk down close to the sea, but that's all been closed down now. It's just, you know, for safety reasons, I guess. You don't want people going in the ocean right by these industrial zones. God knows what's in the water, right? We're just gonna move some of these bushes out of the way. I'm gonna use this little, see if I can find it, this little dock here. And we'll just kind of make like a little elevated boardwalk thing heading down to this. We have something, oh, I think I know what it is. I think it's these rocks are actually building, so they're making some weird glitching in the terraforming. We will fix that in a minute. So these stairs kind of lead down to this Riverside Park. But this is a no-go zone. Can't go this way anymore. It is forbidden. Yeah, there's, you can see the rocks kind of messing with that there. That's okay. See if we can twirl them around until we find the right fit. There we go. And we'll move these stairs back. Move a little dock over. Like that. A little vine up here against the rocks. These large rocks are very similar to the ones I used on my zoo episode, and we are, of course, right across from that zoo, from that same zoo. I'm gonna put these palm trees. They're a little bit longer palm trees. We're going to kind of stick them up like that. Those giant rocks are building, so you can see, even though those palm trees are pretty tall, they look like they're barely sticking up. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Now for the actual park area. This will be the new part of the park. You can see there I added a large dock. And now we're going to kind of make like a little pathway to that dock. And of course, I have to have a fountain in my little park here. We'll use these old moss-covered stones for our path. And do like that. We have our little invisible pathway underneath these stones. And we'll just kind of do the same thing and surround our fountain with these stone decals as well. Now I'm just going to use these garden green bushes just kind of to fill up a lot of these, a lot of the area here around the pathway. Nice little setting area for our citizens. Everybody down here is going to be getting pretty sick from all the pollution, but that's okay. You can see in the background there I put up some no trespassing signs and a little fence. Keep people away from going down that pathway. You don't want to get that close to the ocean. But just a beautiful little overlook here. Be a nice place for our citizens to hang out. I have really enjoyed making this downtown series, and I'm super excited about what is coming next to Sloop John Island. Be several announcements at the end of this video, so stick around for that. But the main thing is we are coming close to the finalization of Sloop John Island. I've been working on this map for years. I'm kind of ready to start a new map. I'm ready to kind of go map shopping, and I don't do that often. When I pick a map, I just stick with it and make a city, and I don't really like to skip around. I kind of like to finish one project. I think a lot of people out there don't mind the, you know, starting multiple cities, but I have to fill up every square inch, or I feel like I do. Now for that to happen, that would take a lot of time, and there are some areas on this map that I might just leave open, because I mean, it's not like every part of the countryside has houses and roads and all that. But I do have an area picked out to make a little suburban type area. Oh, spoiler alert, jeez. Didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to say that. Dang it. Now nobody's going to stick around to the end of the video. Well, you still should. Put a few rocks here on this little hill. Really like how this turned out though. You can tell it's kind of like a diamond in the rough type thing. Lots of pretty bushes and flowers, but then just surrounded by all sorts of industry and things that are not so pretty. Here I'm just putting like a little brick decal, this bench and park light. Nice little sit down area there in case you're catching a ride instead of using the parking lot itself. Put a little crack here in the concrete. This park's been around for a long time. It's really old. Well, speaking of old, I'm This Old Gamer, and I thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed building it. Downtown episode 29 is in the books, and we are finished with downtown. This is it. I'm done. I'm not doing downtown anymore, but without further ado, I do have an announcement to make for my next series, so check it out.